This is a very banged up Texans team on the offensive side of the football. Stephon Diggs already been out for the year for a while. Tank Dell has been out for the season after that awful injury that he suffered against the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago. So when you're shorthanded, when you see news like tight end Cade Stover being put on injured reserve, or the Texans waiving wide receiver Diontae Johnson after just 2 games, you wonder, well, who the hell is CJ Stroud going to be throwing to Saturday on the road against one of the best defenses in the NFL? But that's a question for another day. I really think you should be looking at the release of Diontae Johnson as what it is, a non-story. It's a non-story because Diontae Johnson's now played for an 1/8 of the National Football League over just the last 2 years. Steelers, Panthers, Ravens, and now Texans. When something like that's going down, before we even get to the 4th team, shouldn't you raise your eyebrow about the Texans bringing in somebody like that? I think we got a lot of people online who play a lot of fantasy football or who recognize name brand skill players, and you think to yourself, oh, this guy's on my team now. He's going to be good. D'Amico Ryans is going to get him to buy in, and he's going to contribute. And even if that guy still has some talent, which you saw on Saturday against the Chargers, he was actually open a couple of times. You got to wonder if this guy is, to be frank, an asshole teammate. And it's very clear that the guy is. I saw some people when Diontae Johnson was signed, and I rolled my eyes seeing some of the tweets that were out there, some of the posts that were out there, like this one, if you're watching along on YouTube or Twitch or Instagram or Facebook or on X/Twitter. I saw a lot of that. I rolled my eyes because I just don't get why people thought that the guy was going to be good when he's been on as many teams as he's been on the last couple of years. But maybe that's because I read way too many articles from ProFootballTalk.com. But I was under the impression that the guy wasn't nearly as good as he believed himself to be, which seems to be a Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver tradition, from Mike Wallace to Chase Claypool to now Diontae Johnson. I don't know how the hell Mike Tomlin keeps on getting dealt wide receivers with a lot of talent that seem to be head cases, but he got brought in. I don't think you should have expected much. You're taking a flyer. You're hoping for the best, but you're about as likely to get Diontae Johnson to be the Diontae Johnson you want as you are when you go to the store and you buy a lottery ticket when the number gets over a certain amount. Generally, for me, if it's over $500 million, then I buy it, but I only buy a $2 ticket. I don't go any further than that. I think you're crazy to buy like 5 tickets. Yeah, I have much better odds to win with 5 lottery tickets for $10 than 1 for $2. No, you're fucked either way. You're probably not going to get it. But Diontae Johnson is a guy that you should remember from this story just a couple of years ago with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Headline: Steelers wide receiver Diontae Johnson apologizes for lack of hustle following teammate's fumble. It won't happen again. Now, I'm not going to act like I watched Diontae Johnson film. I don't. But I do know that this happened, courtesy of everybody who was in the Houston Texans locker room. This is something that I did not notice because Diontae Johnson is so far off of my radar that the idea of paying any attention to what the guy does in the locker room after a playoff victory is far-fetched. But courtesy of a tweet from Landry Locker, check out his shit, The Locker Room, on his YouTube channel. Diontae Johnson made a scene in the locker room after the game where cigars were literally being smoked and the team was bonding, happy to get a W. It's very easy to see why Tomlin was over him, not Pickens in Baltimore, one of the best organizations in the NFL bailed. It's something that you should have had in the back of your mind when they brought him in. Is this guy an asshole? Is this why he's available for absolutely nothing? You come into an organization like this. This is your tryout for another gig. This is not your tryout for the big-time contract that Johnson and every other player who makes it to the NFL are hoping to get someday. When you have been on 3 teams in less than 2 seasons, you got to know that something's up, and perhaps I need to look in the mirror. And this guy didn't. And he fucked up. This was a perfect opportunity for him here. But you do shit like that after a win. Why would anyone want you on your team? On their team? Why would anyone want that? Ugh. This is Diontae Johnson's introductory press conference when he first signed with the Houston Texans. Here he is standing outside of his locker.
In there real well, just knowing CJ a little bit. I met him at like a sign and whatnot, and we just kept in touch, here and there throughout the season and whatnot. And just to finally get here and be in the office with him is a blessing. Just his talent, he brings to the game, how he plays the game as well. Just to be able to help contribute to the offense, it's a blessing.
In your short time here, besides CJ, some of the other guys you've been around, and just the culture in general, what have you learned already about the culture?
Team first. Everybody's about the team.
Team first. Everybody's about the team. He actually said that. Team first. Everybody's about the team. Bro, this was less than a month ago. How'd you forget it that quick? Read the room, too. You're in a locker room after a playoff victory, and multiple players are going over to you to console you. Joe Mixon, Azeez Al-Shaair. Get it to fucking get her. Funny comment from Cebu on YouTube. I hope he gave back that hoodie. He is not Swarm. Clearly, he isn't. Here's more from Diontae Johnson, the now departed Houston Texan.
I'm about the team too, so I'm doing whatever the coaches ask me to do.
Doing whatever the coaches ask me to do, huh?
Special teams, return, free play, a couple plays here and there, or just contribute in some sort of way. That's all I'm really worried about.
Clearly, he was worried about more than that. Clearly, the guy was worried about numbies. Come on, man. You got to be looking at the big picture here, and he will be lucky to have a job in the NFL after this. This is D'Amico Ryans when asked about him at today's press conference, head coach of the Houston Texans.
With Diontae, unfortunately, it didn't work out, and we're on to the Chiefs.
Good. That's all he deserved. And honestly, that was probably too much, those 4 seconds of him talking about Diontae Johnson.